Hi lovelies, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to share with us how to draft a
With
shoulder
the
darts.
shoulder which I'll be working with is 7. Then the round sleeve is also 7. Then I'll come here also to mark the underbust. The underbust which I'll be working with is 13 and a half, and the half length I'll be working with is 16, and the full length that I'll be working with is just 18. So now let's connect each lines together. So I'll come back here also to mark 7, then give each line a straight way. So now the next thing for me to do now, to move, so I have 7, then give it a straight rope. So the follows, next thing I'm going to measure now is my nipple distance. I didn't remember to measure that. So the nipple distance we are working with is 9.5. So this is the length from my nipple distance. So now the next thing to do is to measure from my nipple to nipple. So my nipple to nipple is 3.5, then plus half for joining. So then I'll come down to the underbust. I'll minus half from it, so 3.5. I'll do the same thing to this point also, 3.5. I'll also come down here and measure 3.5. So for the neckline, so I'll use 3.5. So now let's join these lines together. This point first, then we straight through to this point. So now let me cross check again. 4 and 3.5. So now the next thing to do now is to come to this point, to come to this shoulder line. So whatever we have here, I have 3.5. So 3.5, I'm also going to divide it into 2. So when I divide 3.5 into 2, that is the leftover space there. So I'm having like 1/3. So I'll mark it 1/3 here. The essence for this is to create a dart at the shoulder. So I'm going to join this point at the bust point to the shoulder point. So now let's do that. So afterwards, the next thing I need to do right now is to measure 1.5. That is for a bust point between 32 to like 35 we use 1.5. So I'm going to use 1.5 here. Also come to the half length, 1.5, the underbust, 1.5. Then I will come up by half here. Reason for that, to make a kind of, so that the cup is going to sit well. So now let me join this together. So now the next thing for us to do right now is to make a point from this point, from this half that I went to make a kind of curve shape. Actually, we can use, I can use my master ruler to create that curve, but in case you don't have, you can as well use you can as well use your free hand. So I'm going to use my free hand. So now the next thing to do right now, to come to this shoulder point also and come in by 1 inch. That is, I subtracted half from it then to make the shoulder that and join together. So 1 inch. So now I'm going to connect this to this point back. So now the next thing to do right now is to return what we have, because at this point here I'm going to cut this out. This is going to be like a cut out. This point here is going to be a cut out. So I'm going to return this 1 inch back here to the arm, to the shoulder line. So 1 inch return, and also half for joining. So in conclusion, I'm going to use 1.5. I'm going to return 1.5 at the shoulder line. So now let's calculate the total of what I'm having here now. So I have 8.5. So our new round sleeve now is 8.5. So this point now is going to serve as a cutout. So let me label these points. This is our bust point. This is the underbust. This is the half length, and this is the full length. So this will serve as a cutout point. Cutout point. So now the next thing to do right now is to take the circumference of each point. So the bust which I'm working with is 33. Then 33 divided by 4 is 8.25. So now let's insert that at the chest point. So I have 8.25 at this point. Then I'm going to insert 2 inch for sewing allowance. 2 inch for sewing allowance. So now I'm also going to come down to the bust point. 8.25. Then 2 inch for joining. Then I'll also come to the underbust. The underbust which I'll be working with is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Then 2 inch for joining. Then the 1.5 that I have here that is going to serve as a cutout, I'm going to insert that here. So then for my waist, the waist which I'm working with is 27, so it's 6.25. 6.75. Sew inch for sewing allowance, then 1 inch for joining, 1.5 inch which we have here. So the same thing is going to be for the front. In total I have like 10 and 10, so now let's connect each point. First point, and then
After connecting each point, here is the result. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Bye.